Oh my god.
I've seen that.
Go face plant.
Oh man.
Now all three of my kids can message me.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wait, did someone recently get access to a new phone or something?
They have tablets, but Facebook Messenger now.
Yeah, they have a messenger thing for kids.
Yeah.
It's like churches going after little kids. It's like Facebook has figured that out too. They're like, we need to go after the youngins.
We got to get on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello, everybody.
We're on. We were discussing what?
Hi.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they have Facebook Messenger for kids.
Yeah.
Facebook Messenger for kids. You got to get them young.
Does it come on the
I'm
Leap
gonna
Pad?
do-
Yeah.
I gotta do my
Not
podcast.
exactly.
Okay.
But it's basically just like the Facebook Messenger app, you know, that I don't know if you've gotten that yet because you're new to Facebook. But
Yeah, I mean, well, because you can't message through Facebook anymore. Like
Right.
if you just have the Facebook app,
they
and you
broke
hit,
it out.
and you hit the thing, they're like, "Nope, fuck you. Oh, download
Now
another
you have
app."
to download another app. Yeah,
Which
they
is
broke that out
silly, but
several years ago. But yeah, now they decided, just like churches and other religious organizations, that well, we got to get them while they're young.
get them before they know any better.
So
Yeah,
let's get
and
kids hooked on
Aaron-
Facebook Messenger.
because he has no solidarity.
So it's another app. Sorry, it's
Doesn't
another app for
frickin-
kids, though.
yeah. Yeah. So Aaron buys his kid or gives his kid a phone, and so now we got a
So
problem.
it's Aaron's fault.
Not only
So now, and at
Because I
Lil at
had-
his place, and his middle kid
He's
is
the
like going,
trendsetter.
"When am I going to get a phone? I want a phone when
Yeah.
I'm 9." Like Tristan
Aaron
and
just-
Sarah looks at me like, "You."
yeah, they totally fucked us.
That's
dude.
funny.
And especially Lyndon's like,
I mean, you know, you don't have to do the same thing, right?
yeah, but tell that to Lyndon. She's like,
Lyndon's 10 now.
she's the oldest. She's like, he has a phone and I don't. And I'm like, oh my god.
Lyndon
yeah.
should have a phone. She's going to run the world in like 6 months.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So now they're calling you this morning,
yeah,
trying out the new tech.
they're pissed because they.
Oh yeah,
they woke
Hollis
up.
already sent me something. I don't know if it was last night or this morning.
Yeah.
but I was.
They're mad because
Do
they
me a
woke
favor,
up.
don't give him my contact.
I know. No, it's.
I love your kids, but I don't want 6 a.m. messages.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but they woke up at 6:30, and of course they went to bed a little bit too late because Aaron was over last night, and
Yeah, that got late. We watched
So-
that fight, and it was like it's on
Yeah.
at 7. You think, oh, cool, yeah, we'll be out of
Which
here.
fight?
The Conor McGregor.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
yeah,
What happened?
It was over really fast.
Conor McGregor got him.
Did he really?
Poor
Yeah, he
cowboy
was-
did not know what he fucking stepped into. He-
Oh, I had a feeling. I don't follow it enough to know. I just knew that Connor was really needing to win this one.
40 seconds.
The whole fight?
Dunsky.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I bet there were some pay-per-view people pissed off.
He
Got
hit,
him.
he did most of the damage to his face with his shoulder.
Oh,
It was the weirdest
Shoulder. Just
That-
walked right into him,
yeah.
and they kind of got tangled up a little bit, and he just hit him with his shoulder. Boom. And then hit him again. And then that second time, you could see his nose just
Yeah.
fucking almost explode.
You get stunned and you don't
Fucking
expect a
blood
shoulder
starts
thing. Dude,
coming.
both of his eyes.
and then he
were-
hit him a third time, and then he kicked him in the fucking head. And I was
Oh.
like, well, see ya.
Yeah,
40
and then
seconds
He
in.
was just covering himself. He's just covering up.
Yeah, he was trying,
was
you know, when they
He was, McGregor's left is like, if I throw left,
meleeing him.
it's like a mosquito annoying the shit out of you. He's just wow, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, like
Didn't he come out of retirement or something for this? Connor?
Well,
wasn't,
Conor
he, wasn't he
hasn't
retired?
fought.
He
or-
just hasn't fought in a long time, but he's not. I don't
Oh,
think he's
okay.
ever really
I thought he was
retired.
retired. I mean, not that matters if you're a fighter because you come back like 3 times anyway.
he's just rolling around.
It's like
in
a
his
band
mind.
doing like when they leave the stage and the band's like, "All right, we're going
Yeah.
home," and everybody like they wait till they cheer their name loud enough.
Yeah.
That's fighters when they retire.
Hardcore.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Gotta do it. It's all part
It's
of the
like
game.
all Brett Favre. They're
Remember
all
what's
like
his name?
Brett Favre.
Not Mayweather.
Pacquiao.
No, who's the one that got Golden Boy? Who's the one that got in trouble so much? Jesus, he came back like 5 times.
Mike Tyson.
No, he fought
They got in
Pacquiao
trouble.
back in the day.
Oh,
He has Golden Boy Productions. Like he
Roy
turned into
Jones Jr.?
No, damn it! Now I gotta
Golden
look.
Boy Production.
Yeah, that was his fight promotion thing. As soon as I say it,
The guy that fought Conor McGregor.
Mayweather.
Mayweather.
nope. Just wait.
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Who is there besides Mayweather, Roy Jones Jr.?
I think he has 3 names. Oscar De La Hoya, 4
Oh
names.
shit! I was just gonna
Oscar.
fucking say that. I was
Golden.
thinking,
Yeah.
is it the Mexican guy?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
he-
but narrow that down if they're
he was-
fighters.
yeah, but Oscar De La Hoya is
Yeah.
like the most popular Mexican fighter of
Oscar,
all
man.
Yeah,
time.
but he came back like
He got in trouble. He
3 or
didn't get in
4
trouble.
times.
When did he get in
I
trouble?
think so for cheating. He got like a PED thing or whatever they call it in boxing.
Damn, you know
Gotcha.
who looks like he takes PEDs is Derrick Henry. We were talking about
Yeah.
Derrick Henry
Jesus.
memes
He's
and how
such a-
hilarious it is.
He's such a
He's-
cyborg.
He's fucking huge. It's like when you like those pictures of him next to I always
I
can never remember his name. The running back for the Ravens. Such
Yeah,
an
the
idiot.
other guy from Alabama.
I
Yeah.
know. He's
So
sitting at home.
He
so I'm not sure.
graduated from
Yeah.
Alabama and then yeah, I know. Well, anyway, it shows them next to each other and he's kind of looking up at him and it's like, you know,
Yeah, I
It-
saw
it-
one that
it-
said because it had RG3 and he was there with
Yeah.
those two, and it said RG3 looking like he's dropping his kid off to meet his
Oh,
real
shit.
to meet his new stepdad or
to
something.
meet his real dad.
real dad or something. Yeah, he's like
Yeah,
looking
dude.
up at him like
Oh my
like
god.
he's a little kid.
It was so
I haven't
great.
seen those.
It was so great.
Well, we were out last week, so I apologize for
I know.
canceling.
I know.
At
Yeah,
a
the
really
people-
late night last weekend, but I didn't. We didn't get any hate mail, so nobody really missed us too much.
Yeah.
But we did miss out on all the misogyny and stuff of normal
Yes.
episodes. But what's been going on this week other than getting your kids tablets?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. My kid got nauseous the other night and I had to come through and be a good father.
Oh,
And
painful.
it was 2 a.m.
Oh,
like right in the middle of
Nice.
just and
Yeah.
I'm like,
did you tell him you can't be a good father before
Too
4
early.
a.m.?
yeah. She's
Yeah.
like, Daddy, what do I do? And I'm like,
Wait till
don't
4 a.m. I can't be a
know.
good father. Yeah.
There's nothing you can really do, honey. She's like,
Like just throwing up sick.
she says, well, not even throwing up yet. She just feels like she's gonna.
Oh.
Man. And she's like, Google it. And I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Oh
All right.
my God.
So I Google it.
You Google it. I'm
and
going
there's
back
this-
to bed.
Here's a bowl.
Lay down. There's this. Yeah, I know. Here's a bowl. There's this list of stuff. And it's like, it's all stuff that I got to get up and do. There's like 2 things where
Boil some water.
one of them says like sit up. I'm like, all
Make
right,
some
sit up.
ice.
Which kid do they read?
This is Lyndon. Yeah.
Oh well, shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you could just make shit up on the page.
Yeah, I know.
Not-
I
not
can't,
for
not
her.
gonna bullshit her. So
Yeah.
sit up and
It says go back to bed. I
Best
don't
thing
know.
to do is to lay your head on a
it's
pillow
like
at 90
says like
degrees.
aromatherapy and all these interventions. I'm like, I'm not doing
What
that
fucking
shit.
website are you reading?
It was like WebMD or some bullshit. I don't
Sure,
know.
Nice.
hippie WebMD.
Yeah, it did sound kind of hippie.
Essential oils, boiling water.
So yeah, I'm just kind of I picked the couple that don't involve me doing anything and
Yeah.
I try to go. and I'm
Go
just like,
outside and pick some fresh elderberry grass.
Damn it!
But it's
Yeah,
I'll do that,
January.
guys.
Yeah, it's fucking 25 degrees outside. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I felt like a shitty day
But all the elderberries frozen.
because in the moment you're like, you want to sleep so fucking bad, but your kid feels like utter dog shit, and so you're just like, oh man, I feel really bad, but I'm still not gonna. I'm
still not
Yeah.
getting up.
I can't.
Speaking of tablets
do
and
it.
kids, Ainsley threw up on her tablet
Nice.
about a week and a half ago and literally killed it. Like it won't
doesn't
hold a
work out.
charge. It's donezo. And I was like, well, I guess you don't have a tablet now. Luckily, you got this other thing for Christmas from Grandpa because I'm not buying another tablet.
Yeah.
What kind of
Poor
tablet?
kid. She was just riding in the car. I was ready to drop her off at her mom's house. I literally was in the parking lot at her mom's place. Like, hey, we're gonna drop you. And I turn around. She gives me that look, and you're like, oh, bleh, all over the tablet and like a tray.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll never forget this kid when we were like in first grade or something, and this kid was running to the bathroom down the hall, holding his hands in a cup and throwing up in his hands.
Oh, and like trying to hold it in.
Trying
It's
to
running
hold
out
it.
his fingers and
Running
shit.
out his- yes. I will never forget that image in my fucking head.
No, you can't.
Oh my
'Cause you're
god.
traumatized. Now,
Yeah,
if you
I was
saw that
just-
now, you'd forget it tomorrow.
Yeah.
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 No,
I
back
was
then,
like,
puke was a big deal when you were a little kid.
it was a really big deal.
was
Remember when so
horrifying.
and so
That was the line of like, if you knew, if you didn't want to go to school, or if you needed, you had to throw up,
Yeah.
and then you wouldn't have to go.
Yeah.
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 And I've never been the type. I still to this day, if even though some of those people drink too much, like, oh, hold on, let me just make myself puke and I'll be fine. I can't do it.
Savage person.
I can't do it. I can't make myself throw up.
Oh, I've done it before.
No gag reflex jokes. I see you looking at me. But I can't do it. Like I can't get myself to that point where. And
I've done it before, but it's kind of like that, where it's like you drink too much, so it's already like you're to the point where you could really easily. So you just kind of like, you do the finger in the back along, and it's just like, yeah.
So yeah, what would it be like to be one of those girls with no gag reflex and you can't do that? You're like, fuck. I just need to puke and this doesn't do anything. I always thought, when you're younger, like some girl walks up and she's like, oh, she's so hot and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, and I don't have a gag reflex. And the guy's like, whoa. But
then you think,
but nowadays,
like it's on a business card.
No, but but when you really think about it, there's so much like, okay, so
it's misogyny corner started already. Here we go.
That's all the fun of it is when they,
do all that and not have the sounds.
Then it's just kind of like, what's even going on here? We're just gonna keep doing. You're not gonna at all. God damn it, that's not me. Anyway, sorry about that, everybody. I apologize. No,
speaking of questioning yourself.
Speaking of porn, though, I had the thought the other day for some reason.
Nobody was speaking of porn, but let's go there.
I was sorry.
Okay,
that's what the porn girls do.
That's what the porn girls do.
They're all into the.
Oh man!
So I thought about the other day, Dad. not the other day.
Let's talk about porn.
I thought
my dad.
I thought the other day about this time when I was young, and my dad found. So the kids don't know the struggle nowadays, and this is one of the ways in which. You mean
like to find porn?
It is, yeah. Think about the idea. You can now go on your phone, you can find exactly what you're into and you can watch it and you can get your rocks off, and that's that. Dude, we like would find a VHS tape of some horrible shit, and that would be what we had for like,
and the tape would get passed around.
Oh yeah, that's what you have for like months and years. That's all you had. And so one time I left that VHS tape.
Oh yeah,
in the VHS player, and so my dad.
No, I think we just
comes
left
in
it amongst all the other videos.
No.
Somehow,
at one time, I left it in there. Okay, and he pushes play, and the image comes up on the screen, right? And he's like, "Oh my god!" And so he's like,
"Oh my god!
Hold
on, turn that off. Hold on, wait, turn that off.
No,
Hold on, this thing work."
He comes up to me and he
throws the remote out the window. I can't find the remote.
He confronts me, because Dad, see, this is the funny thing is I have a tough time confronting people and watching them squirm and like having that super awkward. Dad doesn't seem to have that, at least not with me, because that would be really hard to confront your son.
I think he enjoys that.
I think he does.
It's the opposite. He likes to find that moment.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting here like, oh, you've got to be kidding. I'm like mortified. And he's like,
mortified with a heart on.
No, but that's the problem. Is it right when he turned? Okay, so it was during the, like, how porn is like any other kind of movie. It's got
you gotta get to the climax.
It's got previews, even
before
the actual feature,
well, especially those.
Before
like nowadays they don't like because they're video clips. Sure. But back then, it was like also from Vivid Video.
There you go. Well, so
not Gilligan's Island.
He happens from Vivid Video. He happens to turn it on right when it's like hot ghetto ebony love. And so it's this huge black.
So then you're embarrassed, but then you're like, no, I'm not.
That's the thing. So my dad's like, I can turn it on and see two big black people just plugging away at each other, and I'm like, I'm this kid. I'm like,
you're like, well, wait a minute. First of all,
hold on. That just so you know, that's not what I'm into. Dude.
I like how you're more worried about that than you get caught watching porn.
Totally.
And that's funny.
But I'm also not racist, Dad. It's just that.
I'm not into that.
I'm not more into.
if she'd
I'm
had,
leaving now. It's fine.
If she'd have had a better,
I yanked it. Sorry,
it's the blue one. You're fine. Just don't touch.
oh,
Just don't touch.
are we sure we're okay?
It's no, we're good.
It's the main one.
There's a short in that thing.
The main
Oh,
one.
gotcha.
I have to take this whole thing apart and take all these knobs off to pull the face off to fix that. And so I just keep crossing my fingers that it doesn't fall through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you'd been like, well, if it would have been, like the black dude's okay. It's just that big, huge, freaking 250-pound.
Oh man, I know that is a funny. Like, no, I promise I'm not into that. But if I was, it's okay. But I'm not. But give me my tape back.
Yeah.
I have to give that back to somebody.
Yeah, gotta keep this in
'Cause
circulation.
that shit was borrowed.
It pops out of circulation. Everyone's gonna get mad at me.
Oh my god, the first porn I ever saw was like a Terminator 2 parody
Nice.
called The Gallinator. So you can guess where that went.
Oh yeah,
that was probably a decent. Back in
Maybe
the
not
day, it
Terminator
seemed
2.
like,
Maybe Terminator 1. I'm old.
yeah.
I remember seeing one that was like War of the Worlds kind of deal where
'Cause I think it was
aliens
like
came
12.
down. I think it was alien chicks. You know,
Also, it had to have been great special effects too.
Oh yeah,
Like a rubber
cardboard
mask.
spaceship and everything. Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, you're right though. You can search for shit and find shit you didn't even know you were into, and then you find something new. And you're like, oh wow, okay.
Oh yeah.
Then you question yourself.
You really do.
Have you seen the
End scene.
the animated Japanese ones and stuff?
Yeah, that's a little.
I can't. I mean, I'm fascinated by the
Or like you
idea
brought
of
up
it.
tentacle porn, didn't you?
I don't
Talking
remember.
about tentacle
Yeah.
porn at one point, or maybe you did. Anyway. Yeah,
No, but
same shit.
I'm fascinated by the idea that there's a large selection of people out there that are into that.
Yeah.
But animated stuff, like to be turned on, animated stuff is like
No, I can't get there
no.
either. No.
Yeah, maybe someday. Maybe
Like if
we
you watch
save
YouPorn,
that.
they have the ads at the top. You know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Maybe
No.
we save that for when we're 60, and then all of a sudden we'll
When
be
it-
really into anime and be like, "This is great. It's a whole new frontier."
Be all
Yeah.
VR though.
The VR.
I haven't tried that or seen that. I mean, I guess I have the capability with my phone.
I've
but I don't
seen
have
it.
the
I've seen it
headset.
on my phone. It's interesting because you can kind of go like this, but
What if you're
I don't know.
what if you're in a complete sensory deprivation room where
it was all
the
haptic and shit.
volume was all the way up,
Haptic porn.
and you got this on your fit, and so you don't know what's going on, and like people
It's
start,
only a matter of time.
people
before
Two-way mirror.
people start,
they make
Yeah,
a
dude.
sleeve that you slide onto your cock and everything, and it starts to move. It like
And
optically moves around.
Yeah,
You're
you're
like,
going.
"Oh."
You're just going at it, and people start like walking in the door and like, "Hey,"
And you
know,
can't hear because your ears are plugged.
yeah, and you're
shit.
just all going at it.
Dude,
Like
how-
your wife walks in and she's like looking at something. You know how she'll walk in and she'll be fixing something on the wall and be like,
and talking
yeah, so,
to you.
yeah, not even look at you. And then you're like, I'm thinking about having our parents over, so and so came here.
And you're like, oh yeah.
And yeah, you've got it all set up to where like you got something stuck in your ass, and you got your hand going, and you're like go doing all your fucking thing, and she's like,
And you
"Oh,
always
God."
look so silly with those VR things on, right?
Yeah,
so you're like
exactly.
staring up at the corner, like awkwardly
Yeah.
and stuff. Like,
Oh,
I don't know if I could ever. I don't know if I. Could, I mean,
Okay.
I'd have to try one of those, but I don't know that would ever get it done. Like the
people talk.
anime
Yeah,
stuff.
I know, but people talk about it being, quite possibly the end of us actually.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it
like
risking,
sex for pleasure,
yeah, like it risks
like
our
Demolition Man.
society moving forward and stuff, right? Because it's like if we don't even,
I think we talked about that Demolition Man with Sandra Bullock when he was
Yep.
touching her and she's like, "What are you doing?"
oh yeah.
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 Because it's like eventually we'll just do in vitro everything anyway, and there's no drive.
You just place your order for whatever color hair and eyes
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
So
So it's like will we?
Disease-free Gattaca baby.
Because there's
Yeah, Gattaca,
the
baby. Exactly.
the drive for sexual pleasure pushes us toward
Yeah,
reproduction, right? But there's also the
but it's only
drive.
because that's the only way.
There's also the drive that, like, women talk about their biological clock and stuff because they want to have kids, right? There's also that thing where it's like you just want to have kids, period. And it's not really. It's that the part's kind of detached from sex, I suppose.
Yeah,
So
that's like
maybe
a
that
step
drive
along the way.
is enough to keep
I think it's the Gattaca thing. I really think that
everyone moving.
we'll just make babies in a lab. It's like, because why would you risk
Well,
doing
at
it the
first,
old-fashioned way?
at first,
So maybe it'd be better for society because then you won't have poor people fucking and having 7 kids on welfare.
I think you'll still have that. Well,
I wonder if you have less rape. I wonder if you have less rape though.
Yeah,
like if that technology becomes super easy and
I always wonder that
free or cheap, whatever, like porn is now.
Yeah.
Like a fuck sleeve or whatever you're talking about. I wonder if that'll be a thing. Well, you'll still have rape, but I would wonder if it would go down at all.
I don't know.
But I was when you were talking about that haptic stuff, the most high tech porn I think I ever saw was when it was still on DVD, and it was one of those where like you have a DVD menu. When we used to watch a DVD, there'd be menu where you could watch stuff like that. There were some where there was like you choose the view, and they would shoot multiple camera views.
Yeah,
so you could like pick your position, quote unquote.
Yeah.
That was the most like interactive I've ever seen, and that was still real enough. You know what I mean? That was even kind of cool, but I don't know about. I haven't ever seen anything more like.
Yeah, I don't know if that would actually help bring down rape, or if it's you know what I mean. Like are the two.
Or does it desensitize young men till they have to go out and rape?
Totally, yeah. Which one is which, right? It's like, do you take a rapist and give him throw so much of that shit at him and make it so realistic that I'm satisfied now. I don't need to go out there and.
It's like when you're a kid, when you find your kid smoking a cigarette and you make him smoke a whole pack.
Right? Yeah. Did you just create a lifelong smoker, or did you fuck him up? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that.
I mean, I think if the technology was cheap enough and if it was realistic enough. Then you could.
And let's not forget that most rapists,
because you could probably do like a fake rape with VR at a certain point.
Totally. But rape, I've heard, isn't really about the sex anyway.
I've heard.
Yeah.
All the people I talk to that do the raping.
Yep. All the rapists.
No, I mean, I think that's.
I've heard it's more about dominating and about
old adage,
and it's like if you're in real life, it's kind of like a what was that Jim Carrey movie years ago where he has the dual personality?
Oh,
he's like a super
me,
nice
myself, and Irene.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
That was a great movie.
He's like a Rhode Island state trooper.
Yeah, and he just totally gets shit on every day, and then eventually it just gets to be so much that he opens up this portal to Mr.
That was Renee Zellweger, wasn't it?
He had severe borderline personality disorder. So that they used to call it or disassociative or whatever.
So if you're a guy that just gets shit on your whole life and everything, and you feel like
that's most guys, man. Honestly, that's most guys.
But if you also it in addition to that have this genetic thing or something like that also gets triggered, then you become this guy that like has to go out and find some woman and fuck her up and
do some dominating.
So that it really doesn't have. So you could take that guy and give him all kinds of sexual stimulation and stuff, and say, "There you go, buddy. Are you pacified?"
Yeah,
no.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to program a rape VR, turn him loose in one of those like rage rooms.
Yeah,
with a VR
on. Rage room.
Combined. Have you seen those?
No.
Really?
Oh, you like a padded.
No, you haven't seen those rage rooms. I don't know if they have them here, but they're all over LA. Go figure.
Oh yeah,
but they put dishes and shit in there, and they give you a baseball bat and tell you to go loose.
Yeah,
tell you to go loose. That doesn't make sense.
I think I've seen videos of those, but I didn't know what they were.
Yeah, it's like they call them rage rooms. So like you pay money.
So someone will have a sledgehammer literally and like this big thing and like that. Damn it!
And you can pay money to get your get your anger out.
Here we go. Yeah. No, I know. We did that when we were.
That you're setting yourself up for failure.
We did that when we were like 17.
Production really needs to
I don't know,
step up your game.
We were 15, 16. I mean, when we started doing demolition, so we would do that.
We mean demolition.
We'd go in construction, we would do demo, but we would do it by hand in these tight places where they couldn't fit machines and shit.
Yeah. That's so much fun.
It was great for us, man. We didn't have any aggression at the end of the day, man. We were like, good.
My favorite day is demo day. What was that stupid show? The fucking people in Texas that
rebuild houses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My favorite day is demo day.
Oh yeah. Brand new sledgehammer and
they put like the homeowner with the glasses on, bounces off the tile. Dink, dink. I can't do it. That was fun. Yeah.
They walk out and bring the real crew in.
Yeah.
Yeah. The speaking of bringing in real crews, I was helping these people find a leak, fix a leak. It was an absolute nightmare. So we had to cut like 17 holes in the damn ceiling, sheetrock, and this lady's gonna
see which one had more water come out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
She's gonna take
the whole ceiling down.
Oh, I know.
You're gonna patch this all
problem
to shit
is
anyway.
it's a hotel, so it's rooms.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
And there's no room to get in between them and
it's
crawl
a
around and look
shitty,
for something.
shitty situation. So she's gonna have the one maintenance guy patch all of that shit.
Oh God!
I'm like, you're never gonna open these rooms. You need to get some Mexicans in here.
Yeah,
and just
knock this out.
Dude, they will knock it out.
6 hours.
Yes.
Oh, you're talking about because the one maintenance dude will take forever to do it. Yeah,
he's just one old guy. Oh my God!
I didn't know where he was going with that. You need to get some Mexicans in here. I was like,
come on.
Okay, all right.
Mexicans are the best sheetrock mutter taper guys. I mean, dude, they're just.
It is funny how every Mexican guy on a job site knows how to do that.
Yeah,
it's like it comes with the. I don't know. It's like a rite of passage.
Yeah, it's just.
Have you learned how to mud and tape yet? Nope. Okay.
Well, you either know, you figure out how to do it. And if you know how to do it, and you're good at it. You're good at it. You don't need special license, and you don't need.
Do you have a cactus in your lunchbox? Then you can mud and tape.
A cactus in your lunch? That I've never seen.
Really?
That sounds horribly
like
racist.
Kind at the grocery store that are kind of limp and stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. Like real.
What are those called?
Like first or second generation
pear.
Mexican construction or Latin. I mean Honduras, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like when you go to Tres Reinas here in town, you can buy cactus and make cactus tacos.
Right. I have seen it. Okay, fine.
Straight up, like bring it in there.
Maybe you're not racist.
In the lunch, I'm not. I'm just observant. That's my excuse. I'm not racist. I'm observant.
Yeah. No, anyway,
the hardworking individuals for
just
sure.
Just pay the people. Just get the right guys in there and get the job done. My God.
But see, nobody would know that. Nobody would know. I mean,
I guess not.
I guess some people would know that, but nobody would know. Like, well, my guy has a salary and a 401k here. He should do a great job. Get in there, Jim, and go fix those ceilings. 3 weeks later, he's in the second room.
The same thing,
I think I got it.
The same thing happened when I had my roof done. This guy came recommended from a friend, right? Well, so his whole thing is, oh God, these people want me to do their roof for really cheap.
Did you go on Angie's list?
And we didn't. No, I know. I probably should have, because he did a bad job. Okay, so, and I'm thinking after the fact, I'm like, dude, I didn't want a cheap, shitty roof.
Yeah,
that I would have paid you more. I don't give a dude. I wanted a good fucking roof at a decent. I just wanted someone I could trust. Like,
this is turning into a roofing commercial.
I don't understand that. Why would anybody?
State roofing.
What it comes down to is you pay
those fucking songs.
You get what you pay for.
You don't forget it though.
You get what when you buy a really good jacket. When you buy a really good tool. When you buy it's going to be more money.
Yeah.
Just accept that. But we think that we're going to get the same thing for this, and you're never going to.
No, I mean there's a jacket that I want to buy that's it's like handmade here in Washington. It's like $400, and I haven't bought one yet. And someday I want to buy one, but as soon as I buy it, I'll lose it.
Is it wax coated?
No, it's
wax.
No shit. Huh?
There's a wax coated. No, literally this.
Oh, are you serious?
There's a canvas wax coated with like a parka hood on it, kind of deal.
Like for dudes that never go inside.
It's and they're
they should give those out to
$500.
Give those to homeless people instead of more tents. Like here you go.
They're like the new trendy thing.
No, Filson makes a really nice. It's called the Filson Field Jacket.
Say anything at Filson.
It's like $400.
Expensive, but also super high quality, right? Like I wanted a computer bag.
Yeah.
And some guy at work who doesn't fucking have any kids and shit and is a finance guy and everything. He got one the other day, and I'm like, oh damn, that's really nice Filson bag, and it's obviously all brand new and canvas and shit. And I looked it up, and it's $395. I'm like,
when he walks by, do you just get the single tear? Like that could be me.
Yeah, but his life sucks anyway, though. So
because he doesn't have the love of children,
I wouldn't trade it.
Yeah,
just his life in general. Like all of it.
I was gonna say Epstein had the love of children. Look what that did.
Are we gonna do an Epstein joke again?
No, I just I was saying he doesn't have the love of children in his life, so he's not happy. And I said Epstein had the love of children in his life, and look where he got. So
yeah, I don't think he was.
It was a long way around for an easy joke. Sorry,
it was.
I told somebody the other day that I did that facial recognition trick on Facebook. It was about a year ago, right? Where it's like you take a picture of yourself and it turns you old.
Oh yeah,
because somebody showed me theirs, and I was like, that was a long time ago. But I told him I looked like Jeffrey Epstein because I really did.
Remember that fad a year ago?
I remember that now. You did. Yeah, you did look a lot like.
And everybody was just up in arms, like they're saving all this in a database, and we got facial recognition. I'm like,
of course they are.
They already have.
Of course they are.
1 million of your selfies in their database. Why do they need one that makes you look old? Stupid.
Yeah. You're uploading everything.
They've been doing it already. Now, there's this old thing. And so one person cries, the sky is falling. And everyone's like, yeah, you know what? He's right. My cousin's friend's buddy said that they had a facial recognition thing going. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. That ship is fucking sailed, dummy.
It's done. It was like 3 iPhones ago they had Face ID now. It was seriously like 3. Yeah. That's how we measure things now.
If you look at your phone through your photo library and stuff, there's one album automatically put on there that says selfies.
Oh.
And so it's like, selfie, and then you can search by
U2 again, putting albums on your phone.
Oh, yeah, that too. That fucking bugs me. What a bunch of weirdos. But there's also, it'll find people, it'll find all the pictures and Tristan grouping together, all the pictures.
My Google stuff does that without even being the phone. Yeah. It'll just pull up, here's pictures of you, picture of your dog, your pet, like, Jesus.
Here's pictures with you. And like the other day, it made a video of me and Ryder and stuff over the past, 5-6 years and stuff.
Here's the picture
this week. And it was cool, but it's like, that's odd.
It's more helpful than hurtful, though.
To freak out about it is
I think you're right, too.
Because people...
a bunch of stuff has to happen first for that to be super dangerous.
Right.
And all that is
first they have to take all their guns.
That's
over my dead body. But, I mean, all that is connecting dots. Because you took all the pictures in the video already. All they're doing is some cheap software that like links it together.
Put some music
and some, some fireworks. I can't say. I don't know what I'm saying. Some fireworks and it's confetti. That's what I was looking for.
But somebody will always freak out about it and make it some big deal. It's like, how do you react to it, and how do you then?
Why would you even react to it? Why do you just look at that and you go,
here's okay, the thing that I would react to it, and I definitely wouldn't change my life because of it. But it's like
that's the thing that bugs me. It's like if you were really concerned about it,
it's all narcissism. It's all rooted in narcissism.
Completely, yeah. They're looking at me. It's like, no, they don't care about you.
Zero fucks about you. Yeah. They care about what you buy.
They care about Eric Snowden.
Well, yeah.
They don't care about you Edward.
Eric's his twin, so it's fine.
Yeah.
No, but they care about what you're buying, and they care about where you're going, because all of the data they're collecting is about your movement and your habits. It's not about the pictures you take nobody gives a shit about.
No, it's all about trying to sell you shit.
And I was gonna say it's all for marketing.
All it is.
You know what?
Nobody's doing anything interesting. Sorry, real fast. We were talking the other day. I was talking to my wife. We were watching something, and they referenced the Anarchist Cookbook. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, that was a real thing before the internet. It was like passing around this copy of and you never knew if it was a real copy or what. It was more of an urban legend thing than a real thing. Nowadays, that shit is everywhere.
Yeah.
You can go to YouTube and find how to make whatever you want to make that's illegal.
Oh, do you want to view this on the web or PDF?
That's what they're like. That's what if someone's watching if you're doing that. You going and taking pictures at fucking Spaghetti House. Nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares. So-and-so was at Gold's Gym today. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Everyone is. Doesn't matter.
The fear of, this is going to end my life or my kid's life. It's like when we were, Don brought up the guy who threw his kid up and missed, and the kid died.
Some kid dropped his kid, and then like a couple weeks later she died of massive head trauma. Yeah, one of these freakish things where it's like, where you throw your kid in the air and catch him. This idiot throws her. Oh no! And then she fell. It's like a 6-year-old kid or something.
Gee, why would you
knock that shit out of her head?
Yeah.
So anyway,
in a coma for a week, 10 days, whatever, dies.
I think to myself, like, damn, that's
Darwin.
That is a fluke. I mean, that kind of thing. Maybe. It's like, even if the kid falls, like, how many times do you think a kid would have to fall from that?
To get it in order to get
die.
It perfect, so that she hit her head just right, so she smashes her brain all up and shit.
Don says no more throwing the kids, right? And I mean that's the way Sarah is. That's the way a lot of
I was gonna say it's a perfect female reaction. Not generalizing, but that's a perfect reaction. Like, well, no more of that
misogyny,
right? And so I'm not saying that. Right, I'm not saying that she's wrong or anything like that. It's just funny because I have this thought, and I am probably totally full of shit. But I think like if something horrible happened to my kid, when I try to go there, I imagine myself actually being forgiving and just going like, look, how the hell was I supposed to, I mean, this is,
you're absolving yourself before it happens.
Yeah, because dude, I don't think you can live your life that way, right?
Well, you can't, but I mean, it's not like you don't ever throw your kids up in the air, but at least you'll check to make sure there's no ceiling fans on before you do.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Right.
There's a lot of that just in society in general today. It's like we've talked about this before, right? About
there's just too many goddamn people, though. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like just by the sheer order of probability, it's going to happen because there's too many people.
But it's like the likelihood that your kid is going to get abducted, right? Like that's Dawn's number one fear.
That's
my wife
dude. That's my wife. That's all of our neighbors.
My
that's
kids
all
are going to get fucking kidnapped.
Nope.
All the time. But it's like there's no statistical proof that that's more likely nowadays than it was back in the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, whenever. And throughout history,
I would argue that it's less likely now.
Probably.
Because there's cameras everywhere. Every kid's got a GPS on their phone or tablet.
Totally.
Anybody that's really looking into taking kids.
But if you talk to people, you'll hear some people say something completely
it's all
off the cuff, and they'll say, well, nowadays we have so much. It's a bad world out there. There's so many more instances of this and that and stuff, and your kids are so much more likely to be abducted. It's like, no, they're not.
No, they're not.
You're just more afraid now.
Just because you get an Amber Alert on your phone when it happens, you're more aware of it.
Yeah.
You're just aware of it.
Yeah, but I mean, and wouldn't you like, because this came up the other day, it was a similar thing. It was a show or something, and this is what I thought. It was like, if your kid, I mean, it doesn't happen to these free range parents who let their kids walk to the Safeway and come back.
No, it happens to the ones that watch them go to the mailbox.
Yeah,
exactly. So, so my mind goes, there's nothing you can do.
No,
there's really not.
If you have a hot kid, you have a hot kid.
Yeah, that's one of our problems. Is Sarah goes, look at how cute they are.
I know
they are prime targets.
They're prime abduction.
Especially.
No, but think about it. It used to just be on like the penny saver junk mail and milk cartons. That was how you knew there was kids missing. Now it's on every Facebook gets shared, in every community until 6 months after the kid's already found. They're still sharing it. The Amber Alerts, like it's unavoidable if someone takes a kid. So you're so instantly aware of it that it seems like it happens more than it does.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would just really hope that someone would obviously you'd be destroyed. Your whole life would never be the same. You would, I mean, I can't imagine. That's
horrible.
That's every person's worst nightmare.
If my kid were taking
losing a kid. Yeah. but I don't think that anybody could really like blame themselves unless you were honestly just
unless you're that derelict,
negligent. I mean, and we all know, okay, the line's maybe a little tough, but it's nowhere near letting your kid walk around the block when they're 7 years old.
But you fuck your kid up when you helicopter parent and stuff. So it's like,
nobody. Yeah,
what's worse? It's like, I understand.
We've talked about this before, but that has. I mean, you make them afraid of their own shadow. That's not good either.
Mm-hmm. I leave my kids at home all the time. And it pisses my wife off to know.
I was in the truck when she called because
they're fine. What are they gonna do? Yeah. Well, okay. First of all, what is it that you're scared of? Are you afraid that randomly in a place where there's literally no crime at all?
Yeah.
That one time when I leave the house for 1 hour, the creepy van's gonna come pulling down our street and pick that one house and go up and
which street, Aaron? What address? Which street?
And go in and take our children and stuff. Is it that, or are you afraid that one of the kids are too young and irresponsible and they're going to cut their finger off with a knife or something? Right?
It would be that more than anything.
Totally. Right.
Your kids would hurt more likely. They'd hurt themselves a million times before they got abducted.
But there are plenty of times when Dawn is downstairs working and I'm upstairs working, and we're completely closed off. The kids are basically free reigning the entire house. They can walk into the kitchen and grab anything, sharp or
good parenting
or whatever.
Good parenting
at any time throughout the day.
Yeah,
and inflict that kind of harm
while you're home.
So
it's just because you'll hear the scream and you'll be able to call 911. That's why. That's the huge difference.
Yeah.
Like any of your kids wouldn't know anyway. Like if someone weird came to the door and be like, first of all, they wouldn't hear the door.
Yeah.
No. Second of all, they're not going to answer.
Playing video games.
Like someone's like, "Hey, you want to come outside?" And you're like, "I have everything I need in here. Fuck you." Yeah. I'm not coming outside.
I think that the big thing nobody wants to talk about is why don't we make sure our kids have the confidence to tell an adult to go fuck themselves?
Yeah.
if they're like, hey, you know, that's part of the problem is like back in the day when
you let them practice on
every
you.
parent, yeah, exactly. When every parent was way more, what's the word?
Abusive?
Well, yeah, but
they're authority
checked
figures, right?
Like authoritarian. They were
do not talk to adults.
Where every adult could scold your kid.
Yeah.
Like you find out like, oh, Jim down at the grocery store scolded me, and you're like,
well,
you probably were fucking up.
Those,
You're supposed to.
I understand that
adult
because every now and then you see some punk kid and you're like, God, I want to slap that kid so fucking bad. But the other side of it though is that it is a good thing that kids have the confidence to be able to tell a would-be abductor, you know, now. Yeah. Who are you, by the way?
Who are you? Let me do a background check.
Yeah. Like, you know,
that is true. That's a good point. A lot of people are quick to say, "Oh, this generation," you know.
Yeah.
This generation, they got no respect. It's like,
I know.
Maybe
that's like a comfort. Like
maybe we want them to be able to say, "No, dickhead."
Yeah.
That's like this warm blanket that I think most adults are like, someday I'll be old.
This is turning into a MAGA
everyone's going to
fast.
automatically have respect for me, you know.
It
is a MAGA thing. It's like the world
but it's like if we've turned a corner as a society where no, just because you are old doesn't automatically believe or mean that I owe you respect. Maybe that's kind of a good place for our society to be in. You know, it's like, no,
absolutely.
Up, old
plenty of 55, 60-year-old pieces of shit out there.
Yeah.
Even 40,
it's this huge group of people. That's the thing about back then is it's like everybody always just wanted to take groups of people and say they're good, they're bad, they're good, they're bad. Yeah. It's like talk to the soldier worship thing. You can talk to anybody who's stolen. You were in the military. You know there were guys in the military that were pieces of shit, just like in the general population. There's
a lot of guys that go in the military that are pieces of shit because that's their only opportunity for employment. Right. There's a lot of that.
So why are we doing this thing?
Not that they all are, but there's a lot of that.
Of course not. Yeah. But everyone.
But why can't we parse it out?
They all are. They're all in the Navy, but that's
it's mostly civilians who've never served who have this weird thing where they're like support the troops.
Yeah.
Most troops will be like. Yeah, I mean, you don't really see the troops being as adamant as that. At least I don't.
They're every once in a while, you see a truck with way too many stickers on it, but that's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, but
well, and the loudest ones too, like the ones that go through the heaviest shit are the quietest ones.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? You're not going to come back and be like, "Oh man, I got my 6 Purple Hearts," and let me tell you all about it.
I used to work at a bar back in the day with a guy who was an infantry Marine. Who was an honest to goodness badass
in the shit.
He was in between jobs and stuff, so he came to work at the bar with me for a while. He worked there for a year and shit.
His name was John Rambo.
Yeah. Is that a big deal? I don't know what. Why are you looking at me like that? No. And then
there was cut limes and put the knife in his teeth and walk around.
Yeah, exactly. He ate cans of spinach and stuff. There was a guy that used to come into the bar and get his beer and shit every day and everything, and he's like this long-haired kind of Vietnam vet guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the jacket that said Vietnam vet and all this stuff. And he talked about being a Vietnam vet every other fucking
all the
time and shit. Well, it turned out that he got shipped over there for a couple years and sat on his ass and banged a few hookers and stuff and did some drugs. And then he came back.
He was an army cook.
It was like, it was no fucking big deal, but it was all about, and it just bugged my buddy. Of course. No end. He was just like, this guy won't fucking shut up about how he's a veteran. And thank me for my service.
Oh man, all the time. Fuck you.
And then there were other younger guys too that were also Marines, but that they, were.
You wouldn't know.
What did he call it? It's and if any military people are listening to this, they'd be squirming right now. But I think it's called motor T or something like that. Basically a truck driver.
Yeah.
You're in the military, but you're not an infantry guy. So this one kid who was a Marine but only drove a truck really bugged my buddy too because he's like, I fucking know. What do you call
MOS?
it? I know what his fucking MOS was. And he comes in here and talks about how he killed all these people. It's like, no, you fucking didn't.
Would you drive? No, would you run over them all?
Yeah. Exactly. You run somebody over? Yeah. One time I asked him, or somebody, I was with this guy.
There's a lot of that though.
It was the motor T guy.
Because unless you're that guy and you don't know who is because they're quiet.
Yeah, because you can pull the wheel over everyone.
How much you can get laid for stories like that?
Yeah.
And you get so used to telling them that when you run across a real guy who knows, they're either going to give you a pass or they're going to call you out somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like that's not, I mean, I don't blame them. It works more times than it doesn't.
Yeah. It's like, well, what else are you gonna do? That's your trump card.
Didn't you say? I could have swore you said that guy actually confronted somebody one time, but I don't remember.
I don't know. Maybe.
Man,
it's always the ones that don't say shit though. That I mean, even look at someone like Jocko. I mean, even when he talks about things like that, it's like, it's a lot of deflection and a lot of like, we lost a lot of good guys over there or whatever. We don't want to get into it.
You can tell who you're talking to for sure. Yeah,
but there hasn't been. I don't know. I mean, we're in a weird place too with the troops because, to your point, like if you say anything bad about the troops and you're un-American, so you can't question anything. But yet, I don't even know if anyone knows where we have troops and how many.
Yeah,
it's such a weird. Like we still have wars that have been going on for almost 20 years.
Yeah, there's still guys in Iraq, still guys in Afghanistan.
Yeah, and no one. I mean, we know there's people in the Middle East, and we know that they're doing like black ops shit more than they're doing full scale normal.
It's black ops stuff and it's drone
and humanitarian stuff. That we got a sniper in with all these doctors, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But other than that region of the world, we have troops all over the world, and nobody really knows where they are or what they're doing.
Japan. Did you know about that? Like how many
Germany and Japan are so much in Germany too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, because after World War II, we just basically were
just stay.
Hey,
that's all we go somewhere.
We're gonna stay here, guys,
and then we stay. That's all we do.
Yeah.
Like Walmart.
Yeah.
And
it's like, well, okay, but what's so I was debating somebody on Facebook about this shit too.
It always ends like well.
The military industrial complex. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I always end up
like that too.
Because I jump on and I start debating people and stuff because I'm like, oh really? Why? Because I'm like, no, you can't just say that. That's a non sequitur. That doesn't make any sense. You don't just
just say that. Actually, I can. That's what Facebook is. I can just say whatever.
That's true. But the military industrial complex, it's like, what are they? Of course, they're not going to pull troops off bases, and of course, they're not going to move out of those places and stuff because you have Halliburton and all that. What's the other one that fucking Boeing and
Blackwater,
all of them.
Yeah,
they all make guns and planes and missiles and all that kind of stuff, and you can keep selling those things to your buddies as a government.
Yeah, it's just a cycle. Either we're training other people or we're fighting other people.
So where do you benefit? Do you want to pull those guys? It's like, no, we'll just keep those bases there. Yeah, no, they're fine.
Never know when we'll need this.
Yeah, why would they close those up and back things off and tell Halliburton, hey, sorry, we're gonna spend about 70% of what we spent last year with you guys? You'd be like, what? This won't do. And then that.
Yeah, they'll lobby.
Somebody with a cigar in their office calls us congressman and
fucking Kennedy. Somebody.
We just got your contract doubled.
I mean, that's what happened to Kennedy. That's what was so obvious about his assassination was he pissed off the CIA. He pissed off
the Teamsters,
Dulles, the Teamsters, all of them. Yeah. It's like all of a sudden
everybody was out for him.
Nope, fuck off, dude. That's why Obama was drone striking people and gassing people at borders and doing everything that they say that Trump is doing. Yeah, the same shit that Trump does and stuff. And they're like, this Trump, he's horrible and he's doing all this stuff. It's like all of them did it, dummy. And it's like that's why they do it because I believe they get into office and they go, oh, fuck.
Yeah, they walk into a room. Someone hands them the dossier and they go, oh shit, really?
It's like, no, you don't have a choice, Mr. Obama. Understand. You can either do this stuff and you can give Halliburton their fucking money, or you're going in a pine box, bro.
Or the economy turns and you have to answer for that.
Yeah,
like good luck. It's all tied together. Good luck dancing out of that one.
Yeah, the economy is that's pretty meaningful too. That
President Elizabeth Warren is going to be doing drone strikes.
Yeah, if you just immediately were just like, oh, the military-industrial complex is done. All this, that
tell all those companies to fuck off.
Oh my God, that's gonna have a pretty big, but so. What this comes down to is, for me, whenever I hear of a kid, it's like, oh yeah, so and so is going into the army, and I'm like, oh no,
yeah,
and I'm not trying to be disparaging, but it's
see
like,
the world, young man.
What is he trying?
What is he fighting for, right?
Yeah, I'm like,
what? Well, he's fighting for freedom. It's like, no,
dude, it's never. Come on, yeah, that's when you just want to be like, come on,
we don't need to fight for freedom. There are plenty of free countries out there that don't send troops all over the world.
Yeah, and again, these guys.
And whose freedom are you fighting for? Are you fighting here? You're not fighting here, right? Okay, so you're not fighting for our freedom.
Yeah. You're fighting to sell guns and missiles.
We're fighting to go take people's natural resources and sell them guns.
Yeah, this is a great human thing that these guys do. This is an important part the willingness to fight and die for the loved ones and the friends and but that's not basically what's happening.
There's a part of that
using that they're being used. They're
that's
taking
a small part of it, and they make that the whole thing.
That might be what's motivating their.
They make it look. That's what they tell these kids fresh out of high school and whatever. Is they're like, yeah, you'd go and you fight and blah blah, and they're like, yeah, which is great, good for those kids. That's what they want to do, and that is noble. But that's not what's going on.
And there are people who want to just do harm to this country for whatever motivation. There's all kinds of different motivations, and there is a level of defending ourselves against enemies who want us to be dead. But the percentage of that versus the other motivations to do it is the minority. Mm-hmm. And so we, to your point, I'm saying the same thing, I think, but we celebrate that, we highlight that part, and we rah people into the job with that, and don't really talk about the other stuff. But the other stuff is the majority of what the work is.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, is because you can't say that it's not. As soon as you talk bad about freedom, then you're anti-American, and you just get thrown in this hole of like, well, you're a nihilist or whatever. But it's not a discussion. That's what I'm getting. You can't have the discussion.
Yeah, everyone's talking about
we can, but
the draft, and we're gonna go to war with Iran
draft.
and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just thinking, everyone's like, "Oh man, this is weird, man." The more I think about it, the more I go like, "What are you fucking worried about?"
There will never be another draft.
Yeah, have you heard? Look at us.
Have you heard anything else about Iran after that? Like, it went back and forth for 3 or 4 days.
They shot a commercial plane down. They fucked up and shot a commercial plane down, and their own people are like, "The fuck, man."
Yeah.
That shit's over. And it doesn't mean they're not doing stuff quietly, but to what, no one's gonna be able to launch a bomb. Even what's his name, the North Korean dude.
Oh yeah, Kim Jong-un.
Nobody's gonna be able to launch anything that gets in the air and has the time to fly here and come down and blow anything up. It'll all be shot down, and then we will respond 1,000 times stronger than necessary. So nobody does it. While it lasts, I mean, we're the new Rome, or we're the new British Empire, or whatever you want to call it. And while it lasts,
for now,
until we go into so much debt that
we will destroy ourselves from within, just like Abraham.
And we're just going to keep borrowing money from China till China's economy goes shitty, and they start borrowing it back, and then it's all just going to shift back again, and then China's going to owe us, instead of us owing them.
Yeah,
and then Putin's going to be in charge for it. Did you see that this week? The entire Russian cabinet resigned.
No,
all of everyone in his government resigned. They all resigned, like on the same day. They all fucking quit.
Wow, weird.
And it was something, I'll have to look it up now, but it was something to the effect of he's changing, because he's the president right now of Russia, and I don't know what their term limits and stuff are. I'll have to look when I'm done talking, but something about term limits, and his time as president's almost coming up, where he can't run again or something. So he's going to basically become prime minister now instead of president. So while he's president, he's changing all the rules on what the prime minister can do.
Yeah.
So that when he becomes prime minister, it's like, you remember playing, schoolyard football, and you're like, I'm all-time quarterback, and you just switch on both sides. He's going to be all-time prime minister.
Yeah.
So he's trying to just run
that
shit
term
forever.
limits for a president, but a prime minister, however,
it's something like that.
It's like some loophole or something.
I ever say something racist. I'm going to look this up.
No, that shit's crazy. I don't know. Between Russia, they were talking about Russia and China.
Such a crazy country. There's such a crazy group of people who are like super tough, very resourceful. I mean,
and smart too. They have smart people over there.
Very, very smart. The women are fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
not all of them.
It's funny. They are.
It's not all Daytona Beach.
They go from. I know, but they go from horribly ugly to obviously supermodel hot.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of supermodels from that region.
We have that here too.
Well, yeah,
those are the supermodels are the ones that find the cameras.
Yeah, you just have to look
at the ugly trolls with the bandanas over their heads.
It's weirder that comes from there because they're such a oddball country. It's like,
I'm not going to read these names because I'll fuck up all the Dimitris and all that. But it says that on Wednesday, Russian Prime Minister fill in the blank announced that he and his government were resigning to allow for new constitutional changes by President Vladimir Putin.
Wow.
The announcement was completely unexpected, and yet the outlook for Russia's future looks the way many have expected. Putin's been in power for 20 years and will probably continue to be for many more years to come. So it's like, yeah, we have
20 years.
We have a presidency, but I'm basically a king. I'm just changing all the rules.
We have president,
but yeah, they all quit. They're like, fuck this, we're out. They all quit. Like, you can't kill us all at once.
For a long time.
Who was before him? Boris Yeltsin.
I remember Gorbachev, but that was when it was the USSR still. The dude with the
Gorbachev was the one who basically finally put the last nail in the coffin of the USSR. But then after that, they had Boris Yeltsin as a president.
Gorbachev was when Reagan was in there.
Yeah,
and then I thought it was. Yeah. Was Boris Yeltsin before Gorbachev?
No,
he was after, right?
Definitely, but I don't know if there's somebody between him and
I don't think there is
Putin or not, because 20 years
timeline wise, I
didn't realize Putin has been in power for so long. That's a long time.
So it's been since the year 2000.
I know.
I reckon
it's not that.
It's not that long, huh? It's like you think about 20 years. That's a long time. It's like, fuck, we were just graduating high school. It's like,
yeah, I was locked up.
You were locked up.
I was locked up during Y2K.
You were on lockdown.
They made everybody go to bed 2 hours early because they didn't know what was going to happen. They thought all the jail cells were going to open and everybody's going to come out.
That would be a little bit eerie if you were a prison guard.
You were legitimately not in prison, but in jail. Where were you?
Were you in county or were you in Walla Walla?
What's this story?
It's a long story.
What were you selling?
I was in military prison.
Oh, damn, bro. That's the worst.
On Y2K.
Nice.
Damn.
Yep.
Why you need to tell this story over the airwaves, sir?
Oh, it's such a long story.
Stop being so shy and bashful.
Well, it's a long story, and there's part, you do things when you're young that you wouldn't do as an adult, like a real adult. 20 is not really an adult.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Just make some drugs into the barracks.
No, this is the reason I don't really talk about military service, because I was in the Marine Corps when it was peacetime. Like, there was nothing really going on. So there's a weird guilt about, like, I was in the military because nothing happened. There's a lot of running and chanting and yelling and shooting and at nobody but targets. Mm. So that's the one thing. The other thing is I didn't have a great experience, and I wouldn't have handled it the same way now that I did then. But the real long and short of it is I went in the Marine Corps, made it through boot camp, went into School of Infantry. I was supposed to be going to Rota, Spain for the job that I had. So I was MOS was a 0331, which is a machine gunner. So I was infantry, and my job was to carry big machine guns. And I loved it. It was great. And you can get a secondary MOS, like a specialty or a secondary job, to where if there's none of those jobs available, you go back to your first job kind of thing. So my secondary MOS I was going for was called Fast Company. Fast Company is like the Marine Corps' version of, it's not the same, so it's not a direct comparison, but Marine Corps' version of like Green Berets or not SEALs, but Fast Company in the Marine Corps is like if you like this shit with the embassy in Baghdad, right? Or there was a movie with Samuel L. Jackson where he was like a Marine Corps. Anyway, if some shit goes down at an embassy, they send Fast Company in on the helicopters, on the Chinooks. They kick the doors in like a SWAT team kind of thing, rescue people in the embassy and get them out of there. Like that's kind of their job. And then Fast Company also guards nuclear silos. And Marine Corps being a department of the Navy, I'm breezing through a lot of this, but Marine Corps being a department of the Navy, most of our nuclear stuff is on Navy sites.
Sure.
But there's Marines that guard that stuff. Okay. So I was going for that job as my secondary MOS, right? I was supposed to go to Rota, Spain on the Spanish Riviera and guard nukes, which would have been a great job.
Hell yeah.
And this was 1998, 99. So I was 20. Yeah, 19, 20. Best shape of my life, the whole world ahead of me kind of thing, right? So I go through boot camp, I get into School of Infantry. So I'm in the Marine Corps. I didn't like drop out of boot camp, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. While I'm in School of Infantry, you have to do these things to pass. It's like a workup for this particular job. So I made it through the School of Infantry. So you're in the Marine Corps now. Now you're like training. You're like on the job training, whatever, right? So I was going through a training where they do a bunch of simulated stuff to prepare you for getting into this unit. So one of the things that had to be done, there's like a checklist of things you have to do before you can go over there. One of the things that had to be done was a 25-mile hike, whatever you want to call it, in the middle of the night in, I think, 8 hours, whatever it is. And you have to complete this. So even in the Marine Corps, I was always the biggest guy in my group.
Mm-hmm.
So in a squad, right? So we're doing this thing in a squad, and we're marching in the middle of the night, and they simulated a firefight. Like one of the guys on my squad got shot, and, injured, and you had to carry him out. We're 20 miles into this thing, whatever. So we're all exhausted. Middle of the night, we got the red lenses on our flashlights, so we can barely see. So they simulated one of these guys got shot, and so they had me carry him. So I put him over my shoulders, and I was 189 pounds coming out of boot camp. So, hot. But I had a pack. My pack was 100 and something pounds, and then this dude's 160 pounds, whatever it is. So I throw him over my shoulders, and I'm carrying him out, and they simulated that he was hurt, so he couldn't do in the end to lay there. We're walking in the dark, whatever, and I stepped in like a rabbit hole or a snake hole or something, and twisted my ankle and just broke my ankle, broke it up, face down, dropped the dude on my back, that kind of thing. And I didn't finish the hike. So my class of people all graduated, and they moved on and went on to their stuff. So I got set back in the school to the next round. I had to heal up, basically.
Yeah, you had to do it all over again a few months later or whatever.
Marine Corps, again, Department of the Navy, uses all Navy doctors. It's not like the Army where you go to Army medics, and the Marine Corps uses Navy doctors. So I got put in this rehab unit, crutches and a boot and all that for a little while. And 4 or 5 weeks through the rehab, they're like, all right, you're good to go. We're going to get you back out there and have you finish this hike. And I was like, this ankle doesn't feel good to go. No way. No, we're going to put you out there. Put me on the hike again. I was like 23 miles into it the second time, and I broke it again. And it just being weak, it just didn't hold up. And in Fast Company, they have some charter rules that you can't, at least at the time, you can't break any major intersection in your body twice. Like you can break it once, but like a knee, ankles, knees, shoulders, wrists, anything that's a major intersection, you can't break it more than once because you're disqualified. You can't do that job. So I've broken that ankle now twice. So it was, hey, you can go be an admin essentially and finish out your time in the Marine Corps. I've been in almost 2 years at this point. By the time going through rehab, about a year and a half. You can be an admin, and you can do a bunch of paperwork, and you can. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I think I might have lost this. Oh, I guess I'll paste that together. You can be an admin. You can finish your job writing paper, signing checks, whatever. I was like, no, I'm not about to have that. So I was looking at options on trying to get out at this point, trying to get out on medical. So they put you in a rehab unit, and you're in the rehab unit with a bunch of people who faked injuries to try and get out. So there's a bunch of guys in there who said, hey, when I took my pre-qualification test, I said I never did drugs. I did a whole bunch of acid, and I'm having flashbacks, and I can't be here. Like a bunch of people like that who are like, what the fuck did I do? I was really all about it. I really liked it. So I'm trying to summarize here, but through months and months of sitting in this unit and watching people get cycled out, they really just kind of moved me around. They didn't put me back in my unit, but they didn't let me out.
Right.
Morale went down quickly, and this is the part where I wouldn't do things the same way now. But peacetime, no war. What am I doing here, kind of thing. So I left, which is what you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
I snuck out and took off. I was like, come find me. Catch me outside. I knew that they would find me, and unfortunately, and this is my thinking at the time, I knew that they would find me, and once I got in trouble, I would get processed out faster than just sitting around waiting.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was kind of a risk versus reward situation. So I bailed. I knew that I was going to get in trouble. I felt shame for it. I still kind of do, but at the time, I thought it was the only way out. I was out for, 3 to 6 months, working at my parents' restaurant. That was the other part, is my parents were opening another restaurant and wanted someone to help run it. So I had this opportunity to go work. I already knew this wasn't going to be the path, and I just wanted to get out and go do it. And I was not able to, so I just did it.
Yeah.
Put out warrants and all that good stuff. The Marine Corps pretended they were UPS and
No way.
They have guys that do that shit?
Oh, yeah. Try to deliver a package.
Wow.
And they found me at my parents' restaurant, sent the Ventura County Sheriff's Department out. Ventura County Sheriff, one came in the front door, one came in the back door. arrested me, took me to county, spent 2 days in county waiting for the Marine Corps to come pick me up, basically.
Yeah.
So the Marine Corps comes and gets you, and everybody thinks you're Hannibal Lecter because they're like, what the fuck did this guy do, right? Because they don't come in like camouflage and fatigues. They come in fucking suits, like Men in Black shit. So these two guys come in, and I had not been addressing anyone by rank or anything. I'd been out. As soon as these guys come in, it's like you're back to, you know, the rules kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I got cuffed, wrists, ankles, shuffled out of there, thrown in the back of a Ford Taurus, and driven from Ventura, where I was, back down to Camp Pendleton. So about 2.5 hours.
San Diego,
riding in the back of this car. I get down there, they throw me in the brig. I get court-martialed, and I get thrown in the brig for supposed to be, I think, 90 days, and I had to do 45 days, whatever it was. So they put me in Marine Corps prison on the base at Camp Pendleton for 45 days.
Wow.
Well, the 45 days I was there, which is the whole payoff for the joke I had like 20 minutes ago, was during 1999 at the end of the year 99 going into 2000. So Y2K was happening, and the bay that we were in, the government didn't know what was going to happen. And so they locked everybody down at 10 p.m. instead of midnight because they thought the fucking doors were going to open or something. And
not
they didn't.
Quite what Prince sang about.
They didn't happen. Nothing happened. Everyone was fine.
Yeah.
I got out in the end of January or February, whatever it was. And I did not get, anybody wondering, I did not get a dishonorable discharge. I got a general discharge. And I kind of told my story. I go, this is what happened. I would have wanted to be here, but it kind of got fucked over. And
yeah.
So I don't really bring up, because I didn't snipe or anything. I didn't what's his name? Chris Kyle, anybody?
Yeah.
I didn't have a great story. I could have
tattoos of all the people you killed.
No, I could have, and I would have probably enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's just how
I enjoyed it, but it went bad, and I made some decisions that I probably wouldn't make again, but who knows? Maybe I would.
Yeah. You wonder how many times that happens though, to guys that really want to be there.
Clinton was president when I went in, though, and there was like Kosovo. There's some shit that went down in Kosovo that I almost went to, and that was it.
Sure.
But I got in the best shape of my life, and I learned a lot of shit that was there that I still use as far as, being organized and that kind of stuff. There's stuff that's beat into you that you never forget.
Oh, I'll bet.
But I don't have any good stories, and if I'm sitting in a room full of Marines, I don't bring up like, "Hey, guess what, guys?" Because I don't have anything.
When I was in,
yeah, no, it's good that I can't wrap my brain around guys that like, just, you can go down such a rabbit hole with stolen valor videos. It's so funny, man, because these guys
I would never.
These guys get confronted, and you're just, it's so cringy, dude. You're like, oh god, you idiot, because these dudes are like,
what are they doing?
You understand when some guys are like really pissed because they see they see their patch
for people who really did some shit, they didn't have a choice,
and they lost 5 friends or something, and they're just like, you know what, no, fuck you. They walk up and they're like,
that's a whole different thing.
Let them have it.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like a race car driver that did like local fairs, like going up to Dale Earnhardt. You know what I mean? Like I don't talk about it. I don't claim to have any. I don't.
Yeah.
But that's my story. I was locked up for Y2K.
Damn. I love it. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't party like it was 1990.
No, I used to make a bunch of collect calls from jail.
Extinction. I remember Busta Rhymes thinking that it was all gonna go down,
and there was
about that.
I remember there was a female guard while I was in there that ended up going in 2 or 3 months later, got busted herself for selling meth to people that were in there.
Nice.
So it was just like normal jail.
Nice.
Right. Yeah. It's like she was the one female guard, and everybody talked about her, obviously, because she was the only female. And then a couple months later, it's like we all heard she got in trouble and got put in there for selling drugs.
Damn.
So
it's just people.
It's just people.
Just because you wear a uniform with a American flag patch on it doesn't make you.
There you go.
Immune to getting into some shit. I know I had a buddy, actually, Jason Sampson, who was kicked out of college and then joined the Marine Corps subsequently after that. It must have been in 2002, 2003. And he ended up...
That's the time when you join, where you get in some shit.
Yeah. He ended up being a guard at the brig there in Pendleton. Yeah, which is pretty funny. But he's got some stories he was telling us about guys that they pull in that really were pieces of shit, and that they would, they'd get court-martialed and thrown in there in the brig for a long time and stuff. And
there's plenty of Marines that will hear my story and be like, yeah, you're a piece of shit. And I accept that. I mean, the way it went down, I took the easy way out.
AWOL, people don't take that.
The easy way out.
Like there was that guy in the army that went AWOL that was kind of famous because he ended up becoming a prisoner over in Iraq or Afghanistan.
And now he's a lady, right?
Years. I don't think he's.
Is that Manning? Chelsea Manning?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Isn't that the
Chelsea Manning? Isn't that a tranny?
Well, yeah. Well, no, it started off as Daniel Manning or what was
I don't know. This is terrible. Yeah, but it was Bradley Manning.
There was a guy,
Bradley Manning, I think. I'm not sure.
Who
switched to Chelsea, but she, if that's
it was like
correct,
an Ed Snowden thing.
Yeah, but she was on post and like abandoned her post, and then a bunch of people got in trouble or killed or something. I think it was Bradley Manning, and then went to military prison, and then during military prison switched genders, like after being in trouble.
Yeah, that was a twist that I didn't see coming.
So now I'm in the ladies' prison.
There's a podcast called Serial, and I believe it's Bo Bergdahl. Season 2 of Serial was Bo Bergdahl. And Bo Bergdahl,
where did it
was over there? Yeah, in Afghanistan. Yeah, and they did a prison exchange thing with Obama, and everybody was up in arms like, "What? You're gonna let these people out of Guantanamo who were obvious terrorists or some traitor who walked off his post?"
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
I thought Manning did something like that too, or was that just? I don't know. Manning was documents and stuff like Snowden. I think you're right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the big. But
who knows? I mean, you see headlines and you make a story in your head, and you're like, "Oh, that's what happened."
But it's tough when you listen to that whole story because it's an entire season of this podcast. It's like 8 episodes all about Bo Bergdahl, and you hear his side of it and stuff, and you kind of go, well, yeah, I mean, it's not super cut and dry.
Yeah.
And like we were just saying, right? I mean, you have a brig there at Camp Pendleton for a reason, because just because you're in the military doesn't mean you're automatically a saint. There are fucking
for sure
pieces of shit in the military too. And there are probably pieces of shit lieutenants in the military that are leading groups of guys and stuff. And so it seems to me, if you believe Bo Bergdahl's take on the whole thing, that he was being led by a complete and utter failure piece of shit of a lieutenant.
Yeah, it happens.
And other people, and he was like, you know what? They're endangering everyone's lives. There's some real specific things and stuff that he goes into, but he's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, and the way that, I mean, again, not to justify, but just to shed a little light, the way that my situation got handled is I was put in this rehab unit and basically forgotten about. Yeah. Like every time it would come up to get reviewed, and I wasn't in trouble or anything, they would just be like, "Yeah, wait a little longer. We don't have another team in the class yet. You got to link up with the class cycle and all that."
What would you do every day?
Play cards, sit around, go to the gym, like whatever you could do. I would go lift weights a lot, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was. So
you were like doing nothing.
You're hanging out, literally doing nothing. My parents are opening a restaurant, and like, hey, we really need somebody to come run it.
In the meantime, you're bored as fuck.
I'm bored. Nothing going on for months and months on end. Well, yeah, months on 2, 3, 4 months, and we're not at war. There's nothing going on.
Right.
So if it was now, or if they would have cycled me through quickly, like, yeah, you're healed, and I could have gotten back in. It was I got hurt. I wanted to go back out. I knew I wasn't healed, and they sent me out anyway, and I got hurt again. And then I was disqualified from the job. Right. So that was like you did me dirty. And then admittedly, the motivation goes down. Yeah. And then I'm like, now how the fuck do I get out of here?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit here and work in an office. I could have done that somewhere else.
Dude, that would be way harder, I think, than anyone who hasn't been in that situation, who just wants to, be all judgmental. That would be really hard, actually. Well, to be all motivated and excited to do something, and then just
I take people's scorn because
sit there.
Yeah. I did leave.
Yeah.
And that's the one. In fact, when the sheriff arrested me, right? It's on camera because it was my parents' restaurant, so it's like security footage, right? So one sheriff comes in, and it's just a long like strip mall, so it's a long narrow space that we rented. One sheriff comes in the front, and I saw him. I was like, "Fuck!" So I turn around, I tried to go out the back door, and one sheriff comes in the back door. I'm like, "All right." So they go outside and they handcuff me up, and they put me in the back of the cop car in the sheriff's department, and they're taking me to jail. And I don't know what's going to happen. I know there's some handoff, but he even says, he turned around, he goes, once you sign that contract, you pretty much have to stay there until they let you go. And I was like, yeah.
It's like, yeah, didn't you know that?
Yeah, I know. But I did. I got out faster. Unfortunately, I got out faster going that route, and I knew that I would. Because I got processed, got put in the brig, got given a time limit, and after that time limit, I was out, and I got a general discharge. So it's like,
yeah, it all worked out.
And now I'm here, So sure, it's great.
talking to us morons.
Is that the end of Are we going to leave on that note today?
I don't have the only other thing I have.
Time is it?
There's just some anecdotes. Nothing really.
So you're just gonna leave me out to dry?
Anecdotal.
I pour
well,
my
that
heart
was a
out.
great. How are we supposed to top that? That was a great story.
There's no way to top it. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah,
it happened.
Yeah, that's
So we go from VR porn to Jake getting in trouble.
Yeah, that's where we end it. No, man. I mean, we can go through my shameful stories if you want.
No, it's not about that.
And I can.
But yeah, let's.
I can, dude. I got some zingers. Well, we already did. We started off with my shameful story of my dad finding a fucking.
Oh yeah, that's totally the same.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Mine is way fucking worse.
I do think though, good and bad and indifferent. I do think that the type of personality I have, and the type of personality we have in general, to lump you hooligans in with me, is that we do shit. Like we try stuff. We go out and live life, and sometimes take the other path and go, whoops, let me go back to this one.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too that I keep having this thought that we really try not to think, if somebody were to ask you, hey, is this right or wrong? And you say, I don't know, is it legal or not?
Yeah.
That's kind of like you knew it was wrong, but you're like, but I don't care though, because there's a means.
Is there a way I can get away with this?
There's an end here, and I'm going to take this means, and that's the way it's going to happen.
And I can honestly say, like,
I respect that.
If my country needed me, or however you want to say it, like if there was some shit going on, that would have never happened. There was no threat. There was plenty of guys in the military. They're trying to get people out. Like they weren't letting people re-enlist because they had enough people. We're full up, which is probably why I didn't get a dishonorable discharge for that anyway.
Sure.
If that was wartime or some shit was going on, I would have. Well, I would have been locked up way longer and I would have never had a job.
It's ironic because like a year and a half later, 9/11 happened, and it was like,
then
all of a sudden it was like,
and that's
go time.
That's right when I would have been out anyway. It was right around that time. So I don't know.
Ironic.
I don't believe in kismet or serendipity, but it happened, and I didn't lose a leg or anything. And
there you go.
Hats off to anybody who went in and stayed in and did their part, because they're the real heroes.
Yeah, they're living with issues that we're pretty lucky not to have, all that PTSD and
it's PTS now. They dropped the D.
Disorder.
Yeah,
why did they drop the disorder?
Because disorder is shameful. It's just post-traumatic stress now.
It's like calling somebody a post-traumatic stress retard,
I guess.
Yeah, that's
PTSR.
That's gotta be exactly what it is.
You're
man.
PTSR.
After a while, they'll come up with a new name, and then they'll drop that one when it. When you name something that is inherently pejorative, I guess. Yeah, it will always end up being offensive, because that thing, by definition, isn't as good as this stuff. You guys ever really thought about why that happens? Why retard has become such a horrible? It's because of what it describes.
There he is. Oh, I'm glad we're ending on this note. It's way better.
It's like okay.
It describes people who are mentally slow.
Right.
Well, retarded in our business.
Don't
you know what
like
a retard is.
It's
like a delay.
It's like it's
all. I mean, when you say, "Oh, you retarded the timing of that."
Yeah,
timing belt.
It's so on the nose that it becomes pejorative, if that's what you're getting at. It's such an on the nose description of like.
So now, but I just it's going to happen where it's like handicapped, right? That was the PC term.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to call them. You can't call
Everyone
them that anymore.
breathes a sigh of relief and says, we have something we can refer to these people as. That's not. And then now you can't fucking use that.
It's like, we'll use this term. Thank God. And then that term.
Retard all started from somebody saying, this poor kid here has a mental retardation. Some doctor somewhere was the first person to ever say it. And they said it's a mental, I don't know, what's the word? A retardation. Oh, yes, Dr. Smith. That's a very good way to explain it. And then it's
like, he's a white doctor.
For 20 years. Oh, yeah, obviously a white guy.
Well, yeah,
probably an old white guy, too.
And then it's like somebody who's in a wheelchair. Let's think. Okay, so we are all able and they are disabled.
Yeah.
It seems like a perfectly
so on
reasonable
the
thing to
nose,
call them,
yeah.
and then so they call them disabled, and then pretty soon someone's like,
For decades.
I'll
I'm
be
gonna start calling.
damned if you're gonna
decades.
refer to me as that. That is
I'm gonna call them handy capable. Yeah, you know what? You're a great person. Let's all call them handy capable.
Yeah, but the word the D in disorder makes it a shameful. I mean,
so now that is
so it's
the newest. It's the newest retarded. Yeah.
It's like
I've known people who worked with small children that were, whatever, special needs kids, and if you said the R word in front of this one chick in particular,
yeah, but I think
fucking wanted.
I think like anything else, before we knew better, every kid that was slow was retarded.
Yeah.
And so then
it became retard.
Yeah.
It's like faggot, right?
Well,
it's like it's like the same things you used to call your friends and stuff.
I was just gonna say that when it got to where I'm tripping over my own tongue. It got to be calling someone a retard was just an insult more than actually like that got used more than the actual real definition.
Totally.
Same with calling somebody gay or fag, whatever.
From the time
that ended up being exponentially more of how it was used. So it's like, all right, now we got to change it.
Now we got to change it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But from the time I was 8 years old to the time I was 13 or so, that was like the go-to.
Oh yeah.
All you called people.
There's a reason.
Retard.
Like back when somebody came up with the word trigger,
and you had to say it like that too.
When someone came up with the word triggered, that was probably a legitimate thing where you hear or see something, someone talks to you a certain way, you hear something, and it legitimately triggers something in you that makes you like, holy shit, you get anxiety, you have this reaction. Well, now it's become a term where we all say, "Oh, are you triggered now?" And so that's gonna
calm down, snowflake.
Yeah, so that's gonna be the same thing.
Over there?
Sarah will say that to me when she's pissed off and we're not trying
She'll
to work things
triggered?
out. No, she'll say, "Oh, are you triggered now? You're gonna get all triggery." And it's like,
well, no.
You're
now
not,
I am, no.
You're not asking. Yeah, exactly.
That's because you're armed. That's because you have a gun in your
And the
pocket.
thing is that it's like she didn't say, "Are you angry? Are you feeling mad?" It was, "Are you triggery?" It's like, oh, okay.
But it wasn't. If she would have just said,
so
did I trigger you? I'm sorry. That would be totally different.
Yeah.
It's a pejorative, just in the tone of voice.
And so that's why these words become untouchable, is because we all end up calling each other the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait a minute, why is that a bad thing? You know what I mean? It's like
it's like anything else though. It's what's behind what you're saying.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Your Mom's House podcast? I keep talking to Ira about this.
Oh yeah.
Tired of me.
I mean, I don't watch it religiously.
They hit
religiously.
I watch it when I'm at work and stuff, and I have YouTube playing in the background and everything. But they have one guy on there because they always show these videos of these weird people and stuff doing hilarious shit. You know, like the guy that's like, "Come on, just let me eat you." He's like this old black guy from like I don't know, and he's like, "One time," he's like, "I'm gonna eat you," and like. You're like, oh, gross. And he's like, you won't sleep for 3 days and all this shit. These guys, obviously, these younger guys are filming him just loving every minute of it.
Oh, yeah.
But there's this one guy named Fed Smoker. Have you seen the Fed Smoker?
I haven't.
Holy shit. He's so,
now
he's like, oh, you just broke Proto. You're fired, pal. Yeah, you go home, bro. You broke Proto. He's like 20 years in the CIA. Yep. And he's obviously this out of his mind, like, meth head, right? But he's like, yep, I spent 20 years in the CIA, blah, blah, you just broke Proto. Okay, ta-ta, there, retard. And he said, so they have this clip of him saying, ta-ta, retard, and they play it all the time just as this drop, that they throw in everywhere, and it's fucking hilarious. I love it. At one point, he's sitting in his car, and he takes a knife and pulls his own molar.
Oh,
he's got a bad tooth, and he pulls it out
like a dead tooth
with a knife. In his car with his phone, and you can see him do it. It's
good. God.
And then at another point, he cuts his hair, but he cuts his hair in his car, same car, like he lives in this car because he's a meth head, and he's cutting his hair with his lighter, like he's literally just burning it.
Oh yeah, burning it.
So like, yeah, when you're feathering it, brother. And he says this, and so then, what's his name? Segura. He always says that now. He's like, when you're feathering it, brother. And he says it in his voice. Oh, my God. It's fucking weird. But yeah. Ta-ta there, retard.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there.
Okay, brother.
All right, guys. Have a good week. Later.
South Park. They're like, why don't we go have a hot shower? He's like, great idea, brother. Hot shower. Remember that? No. The KKK guys. Instead of saying white power, like, hot shower. Come on now. Time to get a new recorder. Yeah, hopefully we didn't.